Welcome back to Empress Vibe, formerly Empress Divine Channel. I know a lot of my older subscribers, they may be wondering, like, is it still the same channel? I still do tarot. I definitely do. I'm never gonna give that up. It's one of my callings. But on Empress Vibe, I changed the name because I really want to get into exactly what that is. Y'all have heard me say on this channel that when I started this channel, it wasn't really nobody else calling themselves an empress. And I still feel like a lot of people take the title but don't really understand what the title implies or what it entails. But the empress is a combination of every queen of the tarot: the pentacles, swords, wands, and cups. Queen of Swords, direct communication. She gonna tell you exactly what it is that you want to hear. I ain't got no lie to tell you, no bullshit to sell you. That's Queen of Swords vibe. Queen of Pentacles, of course, about your stability, your security, getting your paper and your money, not having to depend on anyone. Therefore, no one can manipulate you because you don't have a real need for a person. Empress, you'll never catch her saying, I don't need no man and no shit like that, but she really doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because this universe is so abundant that there is no one person that an empress needs. She is self-sufficient and supported in all ways by God and by divinity. So she got her money, her paper. She's thriving. Empress vibe. Now, the Queen of Cups, of course, is having that emotional intelligence and having grace to be patient and forgiving with people who you know are not ascending as quickly or who have not, met up, met up your level, met you on your level, I should say. You understand everybody is on their own path, and really don't try to pass no judgment to nobody. And also keep your heart light, keep your feelings flowing. You can feel emotions, but let that energy continue to be emotion. Let it come, let it hit you, then let it go. A Queen of Cups does not hold on to anything, so there is no bitterness in a Queen of Cups. That is the Empress vibe. And lastly, the Queen of Wands. You know what I'm saying? Like having that passion and that creativity, allowing that force from source to flow through you so that you can create the things that you like to see in your life, so that you can actively manifest with your passions. You don't have to go out there and chase anything, baby. The Empress does not chase anything. She sits in her garden and tends to her things and her gadgets and her baubles, and she is just grateful and thankful for the beauty that surrounds her, because there is so much to always give thanks for and to always thank the divine for. So these are the things that encompass an Empress vibe. So I really want to get into teaching that, because there are so many women who, I'm gonna just say it plain and simple, every fucking matriarch in your family has failed you. Your mama was weak, grandma was jealous hearted, great grandma was under a man's thumb, and the further back it goes, until we got to the point where we had the fall of women, the fall of matriarchs. It's just been a curse, and it's time to lift that curse off of feminines so that you can step into your divinity and live as a divine feminine. Because how do you expect masculines? How you expect you think a masculine gonna do it for you? Baby, look at this world we live in. When has a man came and solved your problems for you? And I'm not saying nothing against men, but that is not who they are. They are not here to solve your emotional issues. They're masters of the 3D. So if you feeling something on the inside, feelings and all of that, they are not as adept in that arena, because that's not what they were placed here for by God. Protection and provision often comes with a sacrifice of emotions, because if somebody is coming to destroy his family, he ain't got time to be sympathetic to a motherfucker that's attacking his family. He got to be cold. The masculines have to be cold. So when you see men that walk in that energy of finessing women who allow them to finesse them, when you see that energy of men scamming women who allow themselves to be scammed, they're actually not the ones out of alignment. The feminines are. Because if you were in alignment, that man wouldn't have even been able to get close to your space. You would have saw him coming a mile away. You would have saw it coming a mile away. If you had all of your queens in alignment, if you had your swords, your cups, your pentacles, for sure, and your wands in alignment, you wouldn't have to deal with that. So we're going to get into healing women for real, and not just telling you, well, your DM, your masculine wants you to know that, your twin flame wants you. We're going to get into really healing women because y'all need it. Y'all need it. And what we also going to do is we're going to tap into the ways of the wealthy. People that you may call celebrities or, the elite. We all have an even playing field. Everyone is on a different level in their ascension. But really in this 3D world, it don't matter. You can have the same lifestyle as Miss Beyonce herself. How they say you got the same 24, it's very true. You have the same 24 and you also have the same universal laws that govern your life. Miss Baby, Miss Queen Bee, Miss Mamas, she is very tapped into these universal laws. You see the symbology all up and through her videos. So we're going to start tapping into like the celebrities and the elites who are really just your peers. Have you paid attention to how many celebrities are the exact same age as you? And have you ever wondered, okay, why is this person living in this reality and my reality looks that way? It has everything to do with your frequency and your vibrations. No, you may not be a famous basketball player. You may not be LeBron James. You may not be a world-renowned singer. You may not be, rocking concerts internationally. But in your own arena, let's say you do have a tarot channel, you can be huge. And that's a word for me. That's a word for me. Wherever I focus my intention, that's where your expansion goes. So we're going to work with women on focusing their attention. Because even I'm guilty of not being as consistent and focused as I need to be. I knew I always had a gift in tarot. But I would just come on and do readings. You know what I'm saying? Just do a reading because, okay, YouTube is the place to do readings if you want to show you had that gift. But it needed to be intentional. And this is intention. Empress vibe, the changing of the channel, that is intention. And yes, honey, you are speaking with the OG Empress here. So we're going to get into it and we're going to dive into what it is that we need to do to get the feminines where they need to be. Because men truly are more in alignment than women are these days. You can say what you want to about masculines. He's this, he's that. They've been taught worth nothing. You can't raise a man, blah, 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 blah. But men really, like, instinctually, they move with such a simplicity. And the simplicity is do what's best for me. Just that simple. That's how masculines think. Do what's best for me. Women be wanting to know, well, what's best for him? What's best for that person? What's best for us? And why that person ain't trying to do what's best for me? Your mind be all over the place. A scattered mind is scattered intention, and when you have scattered intention, you have a messy life. So that's why you see these people bleeding hearts all over these YouTube comments talking about what somebody did to them and how they deserve better. But when you deserve better, you do better, and then you have better once you do better. So we're going to work on fine-tuning our frequencies and really tapping into that thriving lifestyle of an empress. Because I see too many feminines who have that name, but I don't see a lot of empresses. Yes, I can say that. I sit in a position where I can say that I don't see a lot of empresses. So we're going to work on this together. We're going to work on this together, and we're going to do what we need to do to ascend collectively, because it's that time. The world needs us more than ever. You see all this violence. You see all this lack of emotional intelligence in these streets, and it's because there is a lack of divine femininity. It's a whole lot of women who have these cartoon shapely figures. You look like a woman that, like, as portrayed in like a porn movie, but that's a masculine rendition of femininity. That's not true femininity. So y'all, you got it with the looks and the makeup and the hair and all of that. And I like makeup too. I like me a wig as much as the next woman. I got a whole box of them upstairs. But what you look like underneath all of that? Are you thriving? Are you flourishing underneath that? Do you have edges underneath the wig? Because a lot of testosterone will make your edges fall out. This epidemic of all these women saying they have alopecia, testosterone. You act like a man. So we're going to work. We're going to work. And what I want to do is just want to come in and let this be like the kickoff reading. The kickoff reading where we really step into intentionality with this Empress vibe, where we really step into getting our mind right, feminines, so that we can move forward and so that we can advance God's kingdom. Because Jesus kept him some women around him. His true riders were women, okay? He had his little disciples or whatever, but when it counted, it was them lady friends who he loved and who loved him and who showed him real love to the very end, and even after the end, to the point of resurrection. So we're gonna work with this, okay? And I'm gonna say that we're gonna work on ourselves, feminists. We are gonna work on ourselves, and this is the official reintroduction of Empress Vibe, so you can understand what it's really about and what we really doing over here. Got my little high priestess in the making over here, little Empress in training over to the side. She just like to be around me. We have kitty cats that come and sit by the window. There's a big window in front of me, huge freaking window. That's why I have all that good lighting all the time in my videos, right? But we have a lot of cats. Our neighbor has a lot of cats, and they love to just come sit on the ledge when I'm working at the station. So my little over here, she'll come and sit with the cats. The cats love it here. Empress vibe, they love it here. So let's get into it. Let's see what messages we have. The first thing out on the table is that doggone devil and the King of Pentacles. Child, I told an older woman in my family that she's addicted to dick, and I still feel that way, and a lot of women are. Everything you do revolves around if it'll turn a man on. That's the lowest chakra. You in the lowest vibration if everything that you do, the only standard that you have is, does it turn a man on? Will it attract a masculine, like with physical lust? So lust has a stronghold on women right now. I know a lot of women came up latchkey kids in the era where porn was starting to be freely accessible, free on your phone or on a computer. AOL used to have them little dial-up CDs. You get 1,000 hours of free internet, and a lot of children spent those 1,000 hours on them XXX sites. But you were not talking to a divine feminine figure in your family, so you have absolutely no clue what true intimacy is and what it is to truly receive a man. What you were taught with porn. What you were taught with porn it has become like a leading ideology or a leading school of thought. Like when I was young, women, you would never hear women talking about how they give head and got 3,000 and all of that. And I'm not saying that the way I was brought up is the way that everything is supposed to be, but that is so masculine. It's so masculine, and it's not a divine masculine thing either. Yes, sex is natural, it's a beautiful thing, but going around, I got all this, and I'm throat baby and all of this, and you accept that title, which was not meant to uphold you, it's meant to take you off of your throne. Because where you gonna go when you find royalty and you find their goddesses being spoken to in that way? Never before in the history of humanity have people spoken about women with such disdain and such disrespect. Yes, there was always a hierarchy, and men could do what they wanted to do and were violent and ruled over things, but publicly now, it's okay to shame women and to put them down and to make them as purely physical, sexual objects. Never before. Never have the goddesses been spoken about in the same way as prostitutes. Out here in these streets, people don't care if you don't look the part, like big titties, big booty, small waist, fresh off of the table from the DR or some shit. You will be talked about as if you are trash. And the women who do have those bodies, they get talked about too. It's just a whole lot of, people take it as an attack on women, but really this is women's energy being projected outwardly. The way women are treated in modern society, that's the energy of women. What you're seeing is actually how women feel about themselves being played out in the 3D. There is no worth. There is no self-worth. There is no self-respect. There is no self-esteem. worldly ways got a strong hold on women, and we have to get out of that. We have to get out of that. We have to develop a foundation, because right now it's just all over the place. King of Pentacles, sacred clown in reverse. It's not like you out here doing what you want to do. We'll make it seem like that. We'll make it seem, oh, we're so liberated, we're so free, when you're clearly in a prison of your own creation. You're clearly in a prison of your own creation, and wearing booty shorts all up and through Walmart, showing your body whenever you want to, your nipples out everywhere you go. That is not liberation, honey. That's not liberation. And instead of looking down on religions where women cover themselves out of honor and integrity, you'll look at it and say, oh, they're being oppressed. They're actually protected. They're covered. They are sacred, and they understand that. Some of the other practices, not speaking on that, but as far as like covering your body, that is not being oppressed. And you walking outside with everything shaking, tempting everybody, and then wondering why you're being approached like you're being approached. That's not liberation. That's not empowerment. That's you playing right on into the constructs that the devil has put in place to keep you out of your divinity. So that's what we have going on right now. You're not out here being young, wild, and free. You out here scatterbrained, doing everything you can for attention, trying to find love in the camera. King Push say, never trust a bitch who finds love in the camera. She'll fuck you and turn around and fuck a janitor. Set the parameters. You either with the pro ballers or the amateurs. Man, come on. Divine masculines, the kings, when they speak up on women, a lot of feminists don't like to hear it, but it be the dead ass truth. It be the dead ass truth. The vanity is taking you out. It's taking you out of your Empress vibration. Even being a Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands, that aspect of an Empress. Yes, a Queen of Wands is attractive, but it's not because she went and altered her body to fit some sexual standard. That is not why the Queen of Wands is magnetic. A Queen of Wands is magnetic because she steps in and she commands a room without opening her mouth. She can be covered from head to toe and you will feel her energy. Though none of her clothes have to be tight. She can be in a jogging suit, baggy, and she will command everyone in the room's attention with her voice, with her presence, with her creativity, with her passion, with her fierceness, with her fire for life. That is how a woman is magnetic and attractive. And there's some women who do everything they can to fit a sexual standard, and you still be boring. Men still throw you off to the side until he ready to beat some. They'll still chump you off. Yeah, your titties sitting, ass poking, but you're not relevant. You're not important. And no, the only thing you have to bring to the table is not pussy, baby girl. You let these level up coaches keep talking to you and teaching you that bullshit. They not even doing that well. Most of them live a mediocre life with the type of man that you could have found looking like this in a grocery store. The other half lying to you because they scamming on the side, getting caught up with bad checks, going to jail, forging documents and shit. And then you have those who are just downright like colorists, and they think that if you're light-skinned and you look like a white woman, then that's what is going to attract wealth for you. And all of it is females, bitches. I call you a female when I don't have no respect for you. It's just females. You don't really have a feminine soul. You just a female vessel. Your body parts look like what females are supposed to look like, but you're not a feminine inside. And that's what most of these like level up people try to teach you, and they want to go and make makeup channels and hair channels and all of that. And when that shit don't pop off, now all of a sudden they want to come to tarot and want to pull some cards for you and try to talk to you like they know what divine femininity is. These bitches don't know nothing. They know nothing. They know nothing about divine femininity. They know nothing about being an empress. It's just a title. The same empty titles that women chase after. Oh, I want to be his wife. And he still treats you like nothing and still disrespect you in your own house. Got them hoes pulling up, running all up and through your shit. This cannot go on. Because the way this world is spiraling out of control right now is because we do not have the matriarchs that we used to have. Women are not in place. You can say, oh, I do this and I hustle and I work 2-3 jobs and take care of this and I own this boutique and okay. But you still ain't you're still not in your divine femininity, hun. Now you just a hustler like these niggas out here on the corner. Now you're no different than the nigga that walk up in the barbershop, got watches, got CDs, DVDs. You're no different from him. You a hustle man now. Now you a hustle woman. That's all. It's enough. Because our children are suffering now. So now I don't care if you're offended by what I'm saying. Now I don't care if you want to hop in the comments and whatever you got to say, because our children are suffering now. And you are tempted, you're going to be tempted to blame it on the gender of like the shooters and, you know, the criminals and shit like that. But those shooters and criminals, they came up out of a home and they came from a womb, more than likely a cursed womb. Because that's in abundance now. A bunch of cursed wombs out here spitting out children who are already born into sin. And you ain't going to be taught no better because you ain't come from no better unless you were chosen one. Some people was born into bullshit, and because God keeps such a close hand on you because you are a chosen one, you make it out. For the vast majority, that is not the case. That is not the case. You come from a cursed womb, you're going to grow up in a hectic environment, in a hectic, probably broken home, and grow up and create that same cycle over and over for yourself. And then come to YouTube and want to holler about what your twin flame did or didn't do, when really it's your energy being projected outward, outside of yourself. So we got to clean this shit up. We got to clean it up. Right now, it's a lot of passion. I can't even call it passion. It's a lot of lust. It's just a whole lot of lust. Babies just out here. You got these open, cursed wombs, unprotected wombs, unsacred wombs, birthing these children without protection is all for a look. You're going to dress up little Johnny and his J's and put him on YouTube and get him a little IG channel. My baby thugging. Mm-hmm. All for a look. All for a look. You want to be the best dressed mama in the PTA meeting, all for a look. It's a lot of vanity. It's a lot of vanity, and that sexual power it's a lot of sex magic that goes on out here in the 3D now. It's a lot of perversion. The whole world is turned into Sodom and Gomorrah, if you haven't realized. There's a fascination with ass. A fascination with your dookie shoot. You can't go nowhere without hearing people talk about musty, dirty booty. Shitty, stained ass. Something that you have to wash multiple times a day to even endure the smell of it. And there's a fixation on this. It's just sex everywhere. Ain't no intimacy nowhere. Just aggression everywhere. Ain't no grace nowhere. Bitterness everywhere. Ain't no forgiveness nowhere. And that don't mean you have to be nice to people. I don't even believe in being nice. Kindness is different from niceness. I ain't got to be nice to you and can still be kind-hearted. I'm not going to tear you down. Somebody who is nice to you can be tearing you down right there in your face, trying to talk over your head, manipulation, negging, narcissism. Y'all know what it's like for somebody to covertly break you down, tear you down, moment by moment. At this point, pretty much everyone has experienced it because that is the way of the world now. I'm going to gaslight you and tell you that you're not seeing what you're seeing right there in front of you until I break you down mentally to the point where you question your own thoughts. That is the devil. The lust, the sexual aggression, the sex magic is too much. Divine feminines, you have to rise. You have to rise. Well, feminines, you have to rise into your divinity because ain't no divine in front of y'all feminines. I'm saying it straight like that. I ain't got no lie to tell you, no bullshit to tell you. Ain't no divinity in you hoes. Yes, I said hoes. Ain't no divinity in you. Ain't never been none. We all entitled to go through that little phase where our hormones are high when we're teenagers. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm not going at like young people, high school, college. That's what that shit is made for. You are meant to be out here experimenting, finding your body, understanding, but you literally have grown ass women, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, great aunts, who are still in this energy. Just the lowest, the base level. You just alive. All you doing is surviving. Empresses do not survive, we thrive. So we got to get out of this place of just survival and feeling like you got to play the game and you got to finesse men and you got to do this and that and two can play that game and here's the rules to trick a man and train a man. That is non-existent. It's non-existent and it's not going to work, because the more you try to train and control a man with your little interior tactics, devil mentality, the more they're going to fight back, the more aggressive they're going to become. And now you have a race of men who dead ass can't stand women. You have gay men who blame their sexuality on the fact that women ain't shit. It ain't niggas ain't shit no more. Now it's niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't either. Now not everybody ain't shit. Shout out to Dreamville. Not everybody ain't shit. Now ain't nobody worth nothing. Because we're lacking divinity. All over the place. Scattered. It gotta change. It gotta change. And I don't see enough people talking about it. Or the ones who talk about it, they want to pussyfoot around it, or they want to say it in a way to make you feel good. I'm a whole empress in real life. I don't have to do none of that. Because first off, I don't need y'all let the welfare feed you. So it ain't nothing that I can say to you in correction because I love you, because I want to see you and your children and your legacy do better. I will correct you. And if you can't accept correction, then you're the fool. Because I'm not going to sit around and go back and forth with you. I'm going to say what I said, and then I'm going to go sit back on my throne. I'm probably not going to get off my throne in the first place. I'm going to sit here in my throne and tell you what the fuck the Queen of Swords in me sees. And I'm going to try to deliver it through the lens of the Queen of Cups, because I understand that there's an issue here. But I'm going to do my Empress thing. And I'm going to tell you what I got to tell you. And you can feel away, but God can show you better than I can tell you. I'm just a messenger. God can show you better than I can tell you. And if you look around at the conditions of these relationships and in the lives of women, and with the battles that women have to go through these days, then you'll understand exactly why it is what it is. Baby, you are under punishment. You are on punishment. You talking about somebody trying to oppress you and control you and harm you, and these women getting shot. Oh, sex magic. Thank you. But get it out of here. I don't want it, Lord. Download. In recent years, we have seen an uptick of casualties, feminine casualties at the hands of a crime of passion. I'll say it that way. We've also seen an uptick in women playing with the occult and thinking that they gonna do a little spell because they done seen some shit on TikTok or on Instagram or on YouTube where you think you finna do a spell on somebody, devil, trying to control them, King of Pentacles, trying to tie them down to you physically, trying to tether somebody to you, and then when they go off and go crazy on your ass, shoot you and the whole fucking family, now it's a tragedy. Now men are the problem. Now they too aggressive. No, your manipulative motherfucking ass shouldn't have been trying to do no damn love spell on nobody, bitch. That is your fault. You brought that grief to your family because you welcomed that demon into your home. You did that, baby. The news can't connect these dots because they not the metaphysical is not their arena. They just there for the drama and the views. So they just gonna say, oh, men, oh, killing women, domestic violence, da da da. And the women gonna believe that media training because you are being trained and programmed to believe that you are powerless. When really all of the power lies in your lap, divine feminine, every last bit of it. We must do better. We must do better because the children are suffering. And once it gets to a point where the children are suffering and their lives are being cut short because of our bullshit, I can't be the one who just stand by and let it happen. Because now the bullshit outside of my garden is getting so loud that the noise is creeping into my domain. The noise of the outside world outside of my garden is creeping into my garden, and I don't like it. I'm having to pray more to protect my peace for shit that is not even happening to me, for shit that's not even happening to my children. As an empress, as a divine feminine, I'm constantly just connecting with God. Just what can I do? How can I be a messenger? What can I do to play my part to stop this bullshit? I can't do nothing to stop because I'm not trying to be nobody's hero, but what I can do is open my mouth and share what I know from my own personal understanding, from sitting in a place of correcting myself and learning each of these aspects of divine femininity to reach a place of being in an empress position where I can claim that title, where I can hop on YouTube and say, I ain't see all y'all empresses back when I first started. I can come with that type of Queen of Wands attitude and that type of confidence because I know exactly who the fuck I am, and I know the work that I've done, and I know the work that I do every day. I know the grace and the mercy and the goodness that I sit in. I know the trust that I have with God. I know the relationship. I know how intimately and how passionately he loves me. I know how much God comes to me, directly to me. He knows me by my first name. Very intimate, very passionate relationship with the Most High God. So I'm good with my divine masculine and divine masculinity. I'm good with masculinity. I don't have no bitterness toward men. When women begin to address these things within themselves first and get out of that need to adhere to something that was perverted in the first place, you're not meant to be out here looking like no porn star, hun. That was shameful. And there was a reason why those things were kept separate and in a darker place in society. That's a low base, barely surviving part of society. Where when you get to that point where you have to sell your physical body for sustenance, you are barely surviving, hun. Now you have women out here acting as if you're thriving while moving in the energy of somebody who has to sell their very temple to live. And then we want to talk about being divine feminines and this. You need to be feminine and you are a whore, honey. A prostitute, baby. And an emotionally unintelligent female vessel. There is nothing divine in you while you walk that path. If you already got your body done, okay, whatever. Nothing you can do unless you want to take the K. Michelle route and go to talking about, taking shit out your body or whatever. The body is really not the problem. It's the mentality. It's the reason why you went and did it, because you don't have no fucking self-esteem, baby. Because if you knew how powerful and how beautiful and you were really, truly magnetic in your natural God-given state, there would have been no need to go under the knife. It's a lot of things about my body that are imperfect. I don't feel a need to go under a knife. And no, it don't mean that you broke when you don't get surgery, because a BBL is a bottom shelf surgery. It's the cheapest and the most dangerous procedure. It's unsafe, really. Very risky. That's why women be dying left and right with the shit. And a lot of y'all say somebody is broke, but you went in there and got your waist snatched and your booty fattened, but you ain't catch that neck, honey. You didn't catch them underarms. You didn't catch them back rolls. So that's how I know that you ain't got the money that you think you got either. So don't talk about nobody being broke because they don't get their body done. The fact of the matter is, if you were really popping, if you were really in your Queen of Wands shit with your natural self, Queen of Pentacles, if you were really, really balanced as an empress, if you were really balanced with all of those queens, you wouldn't need nobody to come cut you open and suck you up and poke you up and all of this stuff. You wouldn't need to, because you be the baddest bitch in the room. I don't care who got their body done. I'm the most interested thing in the room when I step in there. And I'm looking dead at you. Yes, I said it. It don't matter what nobody come in the comments and say. If I'm in the room, I'm the most interesting person in that motherfucker. And as an empress, you're going to always have to deal with women who, they hate your very existence. Because when you step in the room, you the most interesting in that motherfucker. You ain't got to have no makeup on. You can be dressed like a whole bum. Outside in Crocs and shambles. And can still attract every person in there. Men will be fascinated with you. Women too. Women's fascination tends to turn into jealousy though. So on my channel, we're going to deal with us. We're going to deal with us. We're going to stop pining away talking about what a man wants, because what a man wants is for you to know who the fuck you are. That's what a man wants. A man wants you to be in your Queen of Wands magnetic attraction, so feminine that a man just you'll have men out here doing stuff they claim they would never do. You know how many men be out here talking about these hoes, this, and a bitch can't get nothing out of me, and it's pimping over here, and I've been able to get whatever I want out of that. But I'm not approaching them with the mentality of I'm gonna get something out of you. It's just who I am. Divine femininity will make a man break all that bullshit he be talking about. That's why I don't really, it can bother me sometimes when men talk the way that they do these days, but I understand where it's coming from, because they have such impatience in them. They're waiting for you to step into divinity. If you don't step into divinity, they can't do nothing for you. They can't protect you. They cannot provide for you while you out here as a fucking Jezebel, really. While you out here in your Jezebel spirit, you can't sustain no household, can't cook a full course meal, and it ain't about cooking and cleaning all the time. But damn, girl, what do? Showing up with pussy, that's not it. You can get a pussy made at the doctor these days. It's manufactured coochie out here, baby. That ain't it. That ain't it. So it gotta be more. It gotta be more. It ain't about being no pick me, because it ain't nobody. I don't need no man's attention, baby. A man can't do nothing but be in his God-given position with me. Because all of my substance and everything I need comes from the Most High. I'm connected to Source, so I am never without. Ever. Not at a moment in my life am I ever without. So I don't need nobody to pick me for nothing. I'm just telling you the truth, because I ain't got no lie to tell you, no bullshit to sell you. Throwing a couple cards so you can understand it. This is a positive thing. It's a lot of light being shed on this. It may not feel good. It may not sound good. But it's a lot of light being shed right now. That tower upside down, all the shit that you thought, was what you had to do. It all got to come down. And it's a good thing. Oh, happy day. What a joyous day. When somebody finally tells your ass the truth, to tell you that you're not popping the way that you thought you was popping, baby. It don't matter about no look. It don't matter that all eyes are on you when you twerking at the gas station at 2:30 in the morning. It don't matter. None of that matters. What is that going to do for your legacy? Because everybody out here living for the moment. You out here living for right now. You're basically surviving. Just getting through each day. You are not meant to be here to survive. The 3D was not created for you to come down here and survive. That was not the original plan. Universal design made it so that you can thrive here. And God has many mansions with many rooms. It's so many opportunities out here. Just a beautiful landscape out here. This world is beautiful, and you need to be in your garden too, honey. If you're going to take that title of Empress all over these interwebs, then sit up in your divinity, hun. If you're going to be the queen of anything, everybody want to call themselves queens. If you want to be a queen, then be that. Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. Then be the queen. And keep building on that queen position and that queen mentality until you reach Empress status. And you can sit in your garden and thrive. And watch your children play. And watch the access that they have to opportunities that you never had. So that you can become the first in your family to move your legacy into a whole new echelon. But this shit that's going on right now, it needs to start with the feminists. It needs to start with the feminists. It's too much. It's too much going on. We need a victory. We need to go ahead and move forward. It's time to move forward. You done had a whole decade. You had a whole decade, baby, to be all about your Barbie shit. You had a whole decade to be manufactured, a whole decade to be fake, a whole decade to be a build-a-bitch, a whole decade to be popping shit out here like a nigga. 10 years is enough. It's enough. We need divinity. You see what's happening in this world right now. We really don't have time to be playing like you want to play. And I'll tell you something else too. Recession, you ain't seen no recession yet. You ain't seen no, time is cyclical. Look back in the books and see what happened in the 20s. See what happened. After them roaring 20s, when they had all them great Gatsby parties, look in the history books and check what happened right after. Understand everything going on in this world is cyclical. It's all a big ass wheel. And it's time to move forward, feminists. Because we got a few more weeks. We got maybe a few more months. By the end of 2022, this 3D shit gonna look real different. And if you are not in your divinity, if you have not built your garden, Empress, if you have not set up your garden, you're gonna be on the outside looking in, and it's cold out there. It's cold out there. It's gonna be destitute out there, brokenness out there, brokenness is out there. Financial ruin is upon us. Famine is upon us. Drought is upon us. Lack is right there creeping. You can feel his breath on your neck. Inflation out of hand. Mass shootings everywhere. Violence. People, crooked politicians. Baby, you are living in the hell, honey. You are living in the hell. The hell. The one that you were taught to be afraid of, and where people go and they die. This it. This is it. So you got to get right. We got to do right. We got to do better. And we're going to need that divine feminine to step up. If it's just to lead the children. And when you get in your divine feminine, you'll be surprised how quickly masculines begin to show up in their divinity also. Because they just doing what they're instinctively led to do. They don't have that issue with the devil and all of that, crooked ways and evil ways and all that thinking and stuff like that go back to Adam and Eve. See, Lilith was the first wife, and she wasn't going to listen no fucking way. Lilith wasn't trying to hear that shit no way. Lilith is actually one that will be up there in divine femininity now. Because Lilith already knew who she was. Eve, the one who, I'm going to pretend like I'm going to be, dependent on you and I'm going to listen to you. But I'm going to go do what I want to do. And then with my body, I'm going to coerce you into doing what I want to do too. So now we all in ruin because don't nobody listen. Divine feminine, get it together. Let's get it together. Feminines, let's get it together. Divine feminines don't need to get nothing together. We already there. But you will begin to see more divine feminine voices speaking out. You will begin to see more of the Queen of Swords aspect of empresses out here. You will see more women speaking up and just being straightforward, saying what needs to be said, doing what needs to be done, getting it all out there in the open. Our voice moves matter, honey. And it's a time and place for everything. For the most part, we sit in our garden, we chill. That's why for a long time with this Empress Divine channel, I would come and go. Sometimes I'd be on here doing readings, then I'll fall back. Because I'd be like, I see what's going on in these YouTube streets. I don't like it. I'm going to go chill in my garden. But like I said, that noise from the outside is getting too loud. Now I'm hearing it in my garden. You're not going to disturb my peace. I'll hurt your feelings and tell you the straight truth about yourself before you come and disturb my peace. I'm going to get irritated with you. I'm going to feel that irritation, say what need to be said, and move on. But you're not going to disturb me. You're not going to bring no mess into my garden. So this channel went from Empress Divine channel with just every now and then tarot to we really finna build up some real empresses. We really gonna create that empress army over here. And if you are one who can be corrected, only a fool despises correction. If you're somebody who can be corrected and who can be redirected and who can reunite with God, with your most high source, and relax into divinity, then we good. And we're gonna move, we're gonna make the moves that get this world where it needs to be. Or at least that get you safe as this world begins to spiral out of control. You at least want to have your own garden of peace and prosperity, because it's going to be a lot of lack and ruin in this world. Mark my words, it's coming. So I'm going to go ahead and let this video ride. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and we're going to keep it rocking. From here, henceforth, this is the Empress vibe, and this is what I'm doing. We rebuilding matriarchs, because right now we are sorely lacking them. Divine Feminine, we up and we out.